I guarantee you that you will be making more than people who have 4-year degrees.
Decade of your life to stay on track for financial freedom and a comfortable retirement.
So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to do exactly that, starting from nothing in 10 years.
Boat with building wealth and investing and all that sort of stuff. I need you to hear this.
Want to know how real millionaires actually build wealth? In this video, 4 top experts reveal the strategies, habits, and secrets that made them rich. Watch closely, because following their advice could change your financial future forever.
How many times have you seen some 22-year-old influencer post a graph showing that if you just invest 500 quid a month from age 21, you will guarantee to be a millionaire at 60? And you're sat there thinking, well, that's great, but I spent my 20s paying rent and enjoying life.
The average American watches more than 3 hours of television every single day. Yet only 5% of Americans invest in personal development. If you spend most of your time consuming instead of creating, your wealth potential shrinks dramatically.
Today, not theory, real numbers, real tax tricks, the actual maths. I'm going to prove that a 35-year-old starting from zero can end up richer than someone who started at.
If spending less is the key, the next secret is how the rich structure their lives to make money automatically, not by willpower alone.
In 10 years. I know that sounds extremely far-fetched, but it's entirely possible, and these are my own recommendations from personal experience that I've learned firsthand. Because there are some step-by-step rules that anyone can follow that work incredibly well that don't cost you a single penny.
Nearly 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, even many earning over $100,000 a year. Motivation alone fails.
If you have the goal of calling yourself a millionaire exactly 10 years from today.
Consistent results.
To start, before we go into the steps that you could take, I'm first going to tell you how I was able to build $1 million net worth by the age of 26 years old without coming from a wealthy family, without any inheritance, and without posting a single YouTube video on how to get rich.
Automation works, but the next secret is a skill that multiplies your earning power exponentially.
Debt. What I'm mostly talking about here is any debt that you have that has a high interest rate, I'd say over 12 to 15% APR. The reason is that it's hard to out-invest a high interest rate, because if you're paying 15% interest on debt that you might have, but you're only earning, say, 8% on investments, you are losing money overall. Most people can't consistently invest and beat a rate at which a high interest rate might cost.
The average person spends less than $500 a year on education or skill building. Yet the richest invest thousands annually in themselves. Investing in your skills early can triple your earning potential within just a few years.
So let's say all of your monthly expenses are around $2,500 per month. That means on the lower end of the spectrum, you would want to have $30,000 invested. That would be 1 year worth of your annual expenses. Or on the higher end, you might have $60,000 invested. On average, we're seeing that 20-year-olds spend $3,863 per month in expenses, or around $46.3K per year.
Learning fast is good, but the next step shows how to apply your skills to generate real income immediately.
So, to show you why, I want to tell you about one of my clients. Let's call him James. He sat down in my office at age 36 and he was almost like apologetic. He's like, I know I should have started earlier. I've wasted 10 years, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sat there thinking, mate.
Investing in yourself can multiply your earning potential by 3 times. However, 70% of young adults don't invest in skills or education beyond high school. The solution? Start small courses or certifications today.
Has got about, roughly, I would say, the same spending money as like a teenager living at home but working part-times in Tesco's by the time that you take out tax, rent and everything else. Maybe like 50 quid a month left over if you're disciplined.
Once you invest in yourself, the next step is learning how to copy proven methods before trying your own ideas.
Within 4 years, I had about $200,000 saved up from a combination of a growing clientele, a few very fortunate listings, and the frugality to resist the urge to spend it. It was around this time that I noticed my wealthiest clients had begun to invest in real estate.
Most people try to innovate without understanding the basics. Only 12% of entrepreneurs succeed because they skip replication first. The solution? Copy proven methods before adding your own twist.
Properties along with cash in the bank, I had reached $1 million net worth by the age of 26 years old, starting with zero in 10 years before even making a YouTube video about it. But in terms of the practical steps that you could take along with the blueprints that everyone else is able to follow, here's what I recommend.
After mastering replication, you can stack skills exponentially to multiply your income faster than you thought possible.
Having a considerable amount of money in an investment account to compound for the next 25 years should ensure that you can get to your retirement goals without any stress. The second milestone in the age of the 30s is to have $0 in debt except for your mortgage. So CNBC reports that the average millennial right now between the ages of 24 to 39 has about $76,000 in debt alone. This does include mortgage debt, which brings that number upward, but still the average millennial will carry about $27,251 in non-mortgage debt, as well as $4,651 in credit card debt.
Adding one new skill can increase your income by 30%. But combining skills can boost it by over 200%. Yet 65% of professionals stick to a single skill. The solution? Layer complementary skills to multiply your earning power.
So our goal in our 30s is to have no debt owed on a car or a credit card or student loans even. I think the 30s are where your career really starts to accelerate, and the last thing you want is a debt burden preventing you from building wealth as quickly as possible. If you can keep your personal burn rate low on a monthly basis, that gives you a lot of flexibility as well as peace of mind when it comes to the rest of your budget. We're still going to be keeping the mortgage debt in our 30s. That's simply because it's going to be very unrealistic for 99% of people in their 30s to pay that off immediately.
With your skills stacking, the next move is to start leveraging systems instead of relying on willpower alone.
And I'm gonna be trite right now. Your ability to earn money, to provide value to the marketplace and solve problems for other people is how you will be able to make money. There's the value of the problem that you solve and what you charge for it. The bigger that number is, the more you can charge. That gap between their old problem and that solution, that value, is the percentage that you can take and put in your pocket as something that you have now created in this. And it could be a service, it could be products, it could be whatever. Your earning capacity is going to be the thing that generates you wealth. Do you want to be smart with your money and save it? Absolutely, because that gives you way more that you can play with. But when you're 20, even when you're 30, and in my belief, whatever age you are, I believe that you should take all of the excess money, live as cheap as you can, take 100% of that excess money and invest it in education that increases your earning capacity.
Most people try to fix finances with sheer motivation. Yet 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, even earning $100K plus. The solution? Implement automated systems that manage your money and habits.
Because what happens is when you take that money, like that phlebotomy course, right, and you take $25 an hour times 2,000 hours a year, you're now at a $50,000 a year income. Cool. If I can live on 20, because I'm 20 years old and I can live with buddies and we can eat ramen soup and whatever, and I got 30 left over, after taxes 25, whatever, 25 grand can buy you a lot of education.
Once your systems are set, the next step is to focus on creating more than you consume.
I believe that you're actually ceasing to want to make more income. Hear me out. If you're 18 years old and you graduate high school tomorrow, you are now eligible on the marketplace because you have no skills besides your high school diploma. You did no job, fucked off the whole time, don't watch YouTube to learn stuff, which is not you, but just imagine. In 2 days, you could go and become certified as a phlebotomist and go from making $7.50 or whatever the minimum wage is.
The rich focus on creating value, not just consuming. Meanwhile, the average American spends 3+ hours a day watching TV. The solution? Redirect your time to building skills, content, or products.
To what phlebotomists make at $25 an hour. You would triple your earning capacity after 2 days and spending $500. If you can triple your income for the rest of your life, the $500 certification in 2 days, do you think it's worth the investment? Probably. And so the problem is that people think about the biggest investment as the stuff that they take their money and they put it into. And
After you master creating, it's time to invest that value wisely to grow your wealth faster.
What's up, Graham? It's Guys here. So here's the deal. It was recently found that real wages have barely budged in decades. More than half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and the poorest 70% of US households don't even have a savings account. However, there is some good news because a survey reported that Americans would need $500,000 to...
Most people think investing is only about stocks or real estate. Yet investing in your skills can yield returns 10 times faster. Studies show people who spend 10+ hours a week learning a high-income skill increase their earning potential by 300% in 3 years.
you take that $2,000 a month and you do that for 4 years. And I'm not saying do the 4-year degree. I think that is a play if you want to. I don't necessarily agree with it anymore in the marketplace that currently exists. 4 years later, I fucking guarantee you that you will be making more than people who have 4-year degrees. You'll probably start making money by the end of the first year. The amount of like copywriting courses and books and programs, mentorships, and even one-on-one coaching, like I think.
Once you've invested in yourself, the next step is leveraging that knowledge to generate multiple income streams.
How they were able to grow their business. And by pure luck, I met an agent who allowed me to work underneath him, help him out with whatever he needed, and whatever business I brought in would be split 50-50. From that point on, I spent the next 4 years working 10 to 12-hour days, 7 days a week, taking on any business I could, and saving as much money as I earned. Since I was entirely paid on commission, my income was extremely inconsistent, so I took saving and personal finance
Relying on a single income source is risky. 40% of Americans report job insecurity every year. The solution? Combine your skills, products, and services to create 2 to 3 revenue streams. Multiplies your wealth and secures your financial freedom.
Extremely seriously. I budgeted every penny that went into and out of my account. I wouldn't spend money unless I absolutely had to, and I treated every dollar as though it was the last dollar that I would earn, but it paid off. Within 4 years, I had about $200,000 saved up from a combination of a growing clientele, a few very fortunate listings, and the frugality to resist the urge to spend it. It was around this time that I noticed my wealthiest clients had begun to invest in.
The richest people didn't just get lucky. They mastered habits, invested in themselves, and built multiple income streams. Yet 65% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings, showing most never apply these principles. If you thought these strategies were powerful, the next video will reveal how to turn $1,000 into $100,000 in under 5 years, using the same expert tactics, but in actionable steps you can follow immediately.